For more on the campaign, we turn to Glenn Thrush, Politico's chief political correspondent.
His podcast, Off Message, has been a go-to place for strategists and politicians this year, including President Obama and more recently Hillary Clinton. Glenn, good morning.
Good to see you.
Let's start with the Democrats, because the debate got kind of heated the other night, Thursday night. Is it going to change anything?
I don't think so. Look, I've been saying this for a while, and it's a little bit of an anticlimax, but Bernie Sanders' path to the nomination is essentially, at this point, statistically impossible. He is not going to catch her in terms of the delegate count. We just had a poll. Your organization, CBS, and the New York Times did a poll in which Hillary Clinton was leading here by 17 points. Bernie Sanders would have to win New York by a comparable amount to accrue the kind of delegate count that he needs to be competitive. So I think this is one of those cases where it is literally true that it is all over but the shouting.
Yeah, I was going to say, and yet there was so much aggression. If you watch that debate from the beginning to the end, I mean, you can feel the tension between the two of them.
Well, it's Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn. I was sitting there and I was feeling angry for no reason.
I want to ask you about last night, because we heard Bernie Sanders say, I'm at the Vatican. We know that Hillary Clinton last night was at a dinner, $353,000 ahead, a fundraiser here in New York. What do you make of the differences of how they are campaigning in these final moments?
Well, that really is exactly the duality that you're talking about. Look, one of the reasons why Bernie Sanders is competitive is because he's got this online fundraising appeal. Tens of thousands of donations. You'll hear him say it over and over again, $27, right? Everything, the average is 27 bucks.
Right.
The funny thing about it is this vaunted Hillary money machine doesn't really exist to the extent that Sanders does. She came out with a really good number yesterday, about $38 million in terms of a joint fundraising committee, but she has to do it with big donors. I think Hillary Clinton would vastly prefer to be doing it the way Sanders is doing it, but she can't. So the funny thing about it is now she's forced to hang out with the Clooneys.
Let's talk about the GOP quickly. You heard Donald Trump complaining that the system is unfair. How does he look right now in terms of getting the delegates he needs to win?
I want to buy him a golden box of Kleenex.
Yeah.
Look, he's in pretty good shape. The problem is his candidacy is moving backwards in the water. I mean, There is a real sense. These numbers, we have not seen numbers comparable to Donald Trump's negatives in the history of modern politics. 63, I've never seen this before. 63% of voters, USA American voters in both parties, say they will never, ever vote for him. That is unsustainable. Donald Trump is walking into a general election with a bigger disadvantage than anyone. So that's the paradox. We have winner-take-all primaries. If he gets above 50% in New York, he gets them all, and he probably will. He's going to come very close to getting the delegate count. But the question is, can Cruz hold him just short, so when they get to the convention, the party establishment hacks who have been vilified during this entire process can come back and get him?
Glenn Thrush, thank you so much.
Great talking to you.
Tomorrow morning on Face the Nation here on CBS, John Dickerson's guests will include Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders and Reince Priebus, chairman of the Republican National Committee.